Okay, welcome to me and Shud's Doors Guide. Yes, this is a full guide of Doors. We're gonna cover monsters, we're gonna cover tips, we're gonna cover everything you need to know about the game Doors on Roblox. It's a really popular horror game nowadays, so we're really excited to make this video. And yeah, this guy's a pro, by the way, so I suggest you really listen to what he has to say. And let's get into it.
First of all, we're going to start off with the iconic black monster of Doors, Rush. You probably all know him. If you haven't, have fun, because his presence his presence is identifiable by the flickering of lights upon entering a certain room. It could be random which room it is, along with a sound that can be related to the falling of lights from their pedestals. As he approaches, you will hear a scream sounding like this. You may avoid him reliably by getting into a closet or entering a room that is not in his path, or just getting out of his certain path. His path goes from one door to the next one. It's not like a fake door, but any door with a number. That's his path.
Okay, excellent explanation there. What a good start. The next monster is Screech. He's also pretty iconic. He's small and black with huge teeth. Encountering a room that is pitch black and makes a sound upon opening its door is classified as a dark room, okay? You won't be able to see anything in this room. Just to demonstrate, you will see and hear something like this upon opening the door to a dark room. Screech can attack at any time whilst inside this room. He will follow you around. When he's about to attack, you'll hear a quiet psst sound. Make sure it's not your stupid friends, because they also make this sound on call. Upon hearing this, you must look around. When you see him, looking at him will cause him to scream, and you've dodged Screech successfully. When he makes that scream, when you look at him, that's how you know he's not going to attack. Screech deals about 1/2 of your health. He is also afraid of light and is less likely to attack if you use a lighter or a flashlight. It is recommended to look around even after exiting a dark room, as he may follow you outside.
Okay, Timothy, the black spider. Upon entering drawers, yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say. Upon opening drawers to loot for items, there is a small chance you will encounter Timothy. It's not that small, but it's rare that you actually see him. Timothy will spawn in the drawer and get gradually bigger until jumping onto your screen, jumpscaring you to deal minuscule damage. It's not that hard. You can't actually avoid him or anything, and he's not able to actually kill you, so don't be too scared of him. The scariest part is when you don't see him in the actual drawer and he, jumps onto your screen.
Yeah, I always scream when I see him. But, because you guys probably aren't scared cats. But, okay, anyway. Moving on. Halt. Don't be too scared of Halt. He's literally just two glowing eyes, okay? Most of the fear in Halt is actually the effects, the sound, and the screen flashing. You'll see what I'm talking about in this clip right here. Whenever you enter a room and the lights flicker for way longer than a normal rush flicker, we're talking about, maybe 5 seconds of continuous flickering. That means Halt is in the next room. Halt can be very tricky to those who have no clue what they're doing. Just don't worry and stay calm, since it's actually pretty simple. As soon as you enter the next room, you will see a long, dark blue/green tinted hallway. Don't look back, because you won't be able to exit the room. Immediately start running forward and do not stop. Halt will spawn near the door you entered after a few seconds. He will start chasing you, but he's not very fast, and your running speed will be faster, even if you're running backwards. Halt is special since he will flash your screen at random moments, and on your screen will be this. It says a mix of run away and turn around. It will stay for a small amount of time, actually less than a second, and then go away. Whenever this happens, this means Halt is moving, and it will teleport in front of you. Now, you need to turn around as the text says and start running in the opposite direction. You can actually just hold S and run backwards, and you'll still be okay. Don't worry, since you'll be running forward more than backwards to make it to the other side. Once you make it to the end of the hallway, there will be a door. Get through it, and you have survived Halt. He's pretty rare to encounter. If you're unlucky, you might encounter him, but he's not too common, right, Shud?
Yeah. Next up, we have Seek. You guys probably encountered him, unless you haven't even played the game at all. Seek is just a black monster, this time with only one eye. Upon entering rooms, you will see eyes on the walls that trigger fake light flickers, which will indicate the actual eyes. Don't fret, because these don't actually spawn rush or ambush. This just signifies that Seek will spawn in the next long room without any eyes. Seek will run at you, and you must run away. Crawl under slanted shelves using C, Control, Shift, whichever you prefer to use, and keep running as fast as possible. When you discover a room with a large pillar in the middle, look left and right, because the door can spawn either to the left of the pillar, to the right of the pillar, or to the middle of the pillar. You have to make sure that you don't screw it up, or there's a high chance you're going to die. There's no room for mistakes. A blue light, which is the most important thing about Seek's sequence, will guide you everywhere. Under shelves, the right door, just look out for that single light. At the end of the scene, there will be hands and fire. They always spawn the same. So you can really learn how to get through it and avoid it as easy as possible and as quick as possible. The hands will kill you while the fire will do about half your health. Don't touch anything in that scene because Seek will most likely be far behind, and it's pretty easy to actually get through.
Yeah, and you can actually hear Seek, and if he's close behind you, you might want to just be a little bit faster, maybe take a few hits to dodge it.
And if you need to, if you have vitamins, use that. And if you screw up one of the doors, use the vitamins to try and recover.
Right, that's why you always got to look both ways when you see that big pillar. If you don't see the blue door on either side, obviously go behind it because the door will be back there. If you do see it on either side, well, run into it. You want to survive, right? So run into it. Okay, next up, this is a huge explanation. Don't fret about this, okay? Don't worry. We're going to show it on screen, and it's all going to make sense. Door 50, we have Figure, a large faceless monster with a mouth as his face. Pretty scary, right? No, not really. Upon approaching door 50, growls will be heard from the next room. Upon entry, you'll be greeted by two things, Figure and a library. During the sequence, to avoid Figure since he is blind, you must crouch. Figure has extremely long arms, giving him the ability to feel his surroundings. Along with that, he can also sense your heartbeat, so don't get too close. The goal of this room, the library, is to find all 8 books that look like they're about to fall off the bookshelf. These books look different than all the others in terms of their color, and they have a distinct chime when you are near them. Make sure while you are getting the books to completely avoid the Figure, as if you get too close, he will immediately run for you. Another thing to note is that he is faster with the more books you acquire. He will get more angry the more you progress indoors. If you do end up getting found by Figure and have no escape, hide in the nearest closet and do not worry about hide, because hide will not attack while Figure is there. We will explain what hide is later if you don't know what hide is. Next, you'll need to do a heartbeat puzzle like on screen. It's like Friday Night Funkin', just tap the Q and the E to the corresponding side of the heart, and just don't mess that up as he can kill you. Afterwards, wait for Figure to leave the closet, like leave the area, and then exit. To escape the library, get the note from the desk near the left of the library upon entry. This will show numbers and shapes that might not make sense at first. We will show it on screen and it'll all make sense. On each of the books you find, it will give you a shape along with a number. The numbers from the note signify the pattern you put the code in, and the number from the books signify the actual code number. The shapes from the books also line up with the shapes in the note. Those shapes are the important ones and will give you the code. Use the code you get from lining up the pattern number and shapes to the shapes and code number. Input this code into the padlock at the second floor. Make sure to avoid Figure the entire time. He will sneak up on you while you're doing this. Remember, he gets more angry the more you progress. The code is randomized every time you play the game, so don't try repeating the code later on. Make sure everyone is near the exit before unlocking it, or they will die. The door will lock behind them, and there will be no way for them to escape, and Figure will kill them. I know that was a mouthful, just don't worry.
It was. From experience, I just want to say, if you do get stuck in the library, a fun thing that happens is hide gets reactivated. So if you actually try and escape Figure by hiding, hide will trigger and kick you out of it. And it's pretty sad because anyone who's stuck in there has no chance at surviving unless they're really lucky, but Figure immediately gets aggroed to every single player there. The closest one will be his target. For the heartbeat puzzle, like Jordan said, just use Q or E, or you can use your mouse as well. Don't worry because he's really stupid. The Figure is really stupid and you can easily walk as long as you're not in his line of sight, which makes no sense since he's blind. But if you're in his line of sight, shockingly that matters, you have to crouch. If you're not in it, you can easily just walk. If he does start chasing you, you can either hide or you can just get behind a bookshelf and he'll lose track of you for some reason. Next up, we have the brother of Rush, Ambush, the green, trickier version of Rush, typically seen at endgame, rarely early game. Like Rush, except he comes around multiple times upon arrival. He's also identified by the flickering of lights upon entry, however, has a unique scream to signify his approach, sounding like this. You may avoid him reliably by entering a closet, like Rush, when he passes and exiting when he leaves. You can also get out of his path using, let's say, a vent or anything like that. He's not that hard. He seems kind of intimidating at first. It's just him along with Hyde make a really troubling duo, but you'll get used to them both and you'll understand how to easily survive.
Okay, great. Yeah, just make sure you're entering and exiting the closet simultaneously. If you don't, of course, Hyde's gonna kill you, right? Be ready because he'll come back in different ranges. Sometimes the room that he'll travel to will be bigger, so you'll have to wait a bit of extra time for him to come back. But I actually died earlier today because he came back instantly and I wasn't expecting it. So you gotta be ready for stuff like that. Okay, now Jack is kind of an Easter egg monster. He's a weird PNG, sort of like Russian Ambush. Just like an image. While exploring the hotel, you can sometimes have a small chance to encounter a blood room and encounter Jack. The chance is actually 1 in 2,000. It's pretty rare. Jack, as shown on screen, does not do much himself, especially with blood rooms, since it's just a secret. Jack is mainly dangerous since he can be in closets. There should be a knocking noise coming from the closet if Jack is inside it. That's what that knocking is. For those of you who walk through doors and you just hear that faint knocking, that's actually Jack in a closet. You should avoid any closets that have a knocking noise that originate. If you have to hide from rush or ambush, the few seconds Jack appears and negates your ability to hide can lead to death from rush or ambush. So watch out for Jack, okay?
Next up, we're going to talk briefly about the eyes. The eyes will sometimes appear once entering a new room. Now they can appear in the middle of the room, they can appear at the door you enter from, or even the exit door. Now the eyes, they're not very hard to avoid. All you have to do is look down or look away from them. You just can't stare at them. If you stare at them, they're going to start to do a lot of damage. If you stare at them once, they'll do a tiny bit of damage. If you stare at them for 5 seconds, you're going to be almost dead. So make sure you listen for this small tone right here. And if you hear that, look down, look away, do whatever, just do not look at the eyes. This is actually what the eyes look like on screen right now. Pretty scary, if in a sense. Just don't look at them, and everything will be fine.
If you don't hear it, you'll also see like a purplish tint, like a purple glisten, or like a glow probably, and the
yes,
more
they have
intense
a giant
the purple,
glow.
the closer you are to the eyes. Alright, now we're gonna move on to Hyde. Hyde is really annoying and really ruins the idea of closets and rush intentionally. When you enter a closet, in the beginning of the game you have a lot of time, in the end of the game you don't have as much time. You're going to hear a heartbeat sound and your screen will start to flash red. And if you look closely at the text, it's going to say get out. It'll start flashing more and more intensely, and once it flashes intensely enough, you'll be kicked out of the closet, dealing half your health, and you can no longer enter that closet back again. In the beginning of the game, this really isn't an issue as it takes forever for it to start kicking you out of the closet. But once you hit door 90, it starts to spawn after like maybe 5 seconds of being in a closet. So you really have to be careful and time it. So enter a closet when rush is coming, not as soon as the lights flicker. That's how you avoid Hyde.
Now, just to clarify, after actually getting kicked out by Hyde, there's a few seconds when your screen is wrapped with some tentacles or something. I don't really know what it is. But when this is going on, you can't actually enter any closets for about 5 seconds or so. And that can be really troubling if rush appears, or ambush, especially ambush, because that's an instant death. Next up, we're just going to talk a tiny bit about glitch, since it's not really one that's worrying, since it's easy to avoid. All you have to do to survive glitch is stay with the group of people if you're doing it multiplayer. Don't go back on yourself, and make sure you're staying close to everyone. If you stay too far behind, glitch, this glitchy looking humanoid, will rush at you, deal about 60 or 40% of your health, and teleport you back to the group. You can know if you're close to getting attacked by glitch because doors will close behind you as you're actually going through the game, and behind that door, if you were behind it, glitch would have attacked you. It's really easy and simple to avoid, but it does give you a cool shiny little badge. So if you want that badge, go for it. If you don't want to die, don't go for it. Pretty simple.
Quick intermission. If you like what you see, make sure to like. If it didn't help you, you can dislike. It'll give me the feedback. Subscribe if you want to see more. Hit the notification bell to get notified. If you want to join my Roblox group or my Discord server, they will be in the description. Go ahead and help yourselves. With that being said, let's get right back into the video.
So now we're going to talk about tips and tricks on how you can actually get through everything and how to learn a bit more. First of all, we're going to talk about the guiding light. Now, the guiding light is essentially something that actually only shows up in dark rooms. This is if you've been in a dark room for too long, it's going to shine a light on the door at the end of it. And that light is going to tell you that's the door. You're going to be able to actually see a bit there. It's going to be a blue light, kind of like in Seek. And the best part about it is if there's a lock on the door, another guiding light will actually spawn at where the key is. So if you're in a big room with a ton of separate rooms connected to it, go in each of those rooms. Don't actually check the drawers. Just look for that blue light above a drawer or above anywhere, wherever it is. And that's going to tell you that the key is there. Get that key, bring it to the door, and then you've proceeded through. Make sure to check for Screech all the time because he is really annoying. And pretty simple.
Right, it's that same light you'll see in Seek. Just in case you'd want to know what it looks like, it'll look like that. I don't know if he said this, but it spawns after you've been in the dark room for, I'd say, at least 15 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. You have to wait in there a bit because it's almost like the game telling you what to do because it thinks you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you're kind of stupid. Here you go.
Yeah. Alright, tip number 2. This happens, at least I've seen this most abundantly in generator rooms. The rooms where you have to flick the switch and then it opens the gate and then you can leave. I call them generator rooms. You can call them whatever you want. If those rooms are dark, it gets really annoying to find the switch. Okay? That's why they have knocking, distinct knocking. It does not sound like Jack. It's different. Distinct knocking in dark rooms. That actually tells you where to progress, whether it may be where the switch is, or maybe even where the right door for the key is, or where the right door to get out is.
You fucked it up.
The game's trying to do is it's trying to tell you where the next door to progress is. So say the door to the basement in a switch room, you'll hear a knock coming from that door. If you follow the knock, it'll take you there. That way you know where the door is in a dark room. It's actually very smart and should help me come up with this. So yeah, if you hear that distant knocking in a dark room, that's actually a door. It's just the game trying to guide you the right way. Nothing's going to come out and eat you or something. So yeah.
As you said, knocking comes from any door in the room that you need to go to progress. It's not always like guaranteed to happen, but there's always a small chance that it'll happen. Usually in bigger rooms than just small hallways. Next up, we're going to talk about a nice method to open drawers insanely quick and get whatever's in it. Sometimes you don't actually get the gold that's in it, but if there's a lighter, a flashlight, a battery, a bandage, it's going to give it to you. This is a fast way to open drawers. It's the best method that I've found. What you want to do is while walking, you want to aim your camera towards the bottom drawer of it, and you want to spam E while passing by. Make sure you're always aiming at that part. Jordan's going to do a demonstration on the actual screen right now. He's going to do a demonstration really quick. even though he's not as good as I am at it, because, I mean, I'm a professional at it, and I've been doing it all the time. But just bragging a little bit. But that's all you want to do. You want to aim at the bottom, you want to spam E, and while you're spamming E, there's a high chance that you'll get whatever's in there. If it's something small like gold or a bandage, there's a chance you won't actually get it. But it's the best method to get anything in drawers, open them quickly, find keys, anything like that.
Yeah, that's pretty great, honestly. Alright, this one's pretty big. A lot of speedrunners do this. It's the skip in room 100. So at room 100, you'll come across this door that you've never seen before. Excellent rhyme, I know. No, seriously. It's gonna be like a double door. And you hit like a switch and it opens up and then figure jumps down. When a figure jumps down, you don't actually have to run back. What you can do is when you flick the switch, during the cutscene, hold W, I'll demonstrate on screen right now. Hold W and tap A every like half a second, like this. Like tap, 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 and then it'll actually just butt you past it. What's his name? Figure is not going to kill you. You'll just walk right past him up to get the key. Very efficient, very nice, and very fast.
Something else is there's even a chance if you do it perfectly and then do the elevator power puzzle, which is what we're going to talk about next, insanely quickly and flawlessly, the figure won't actually chase after you afterwards. He doesn't have enough time to get to the part in the script where he breaks down the door that he just doesn't. Maybe he does if you wait a little bit, but I'm not too sure. Anyways, next we're going to talk about the elevator power puzzle because it's not that hard even though it looks kind of complicated. So once you get into the power room, you're going to see a power box. Once you go into it, a GUI is going to appear and you're going to have to do the puzzle. Now it's pretty simple. In front of you, you're going to see 10 different numbered switches with a light next to it, which will indicate if it's lit or unlit. At the top, it's going to flash a number and then flash a light, which will tell you if you should flick that switch or not. It's going to show a number, like let's say 10, and then the box next to it is either going to be lit or unlit. If it's lit, flick the 10th switch. It's going to be easy to actually see which the 10th is. It's going to be on screen right now, even though Jordan is like absolute trash at doing this puzzle. No offense, but it's going to do that for every single one. If it's unlit, just don't flick that switch. And it's going to be pretty easy. You have to do it 3 times. Once you're done that, just run back to the elevator. Don't crouch because the figure is going to be behind you unless you do it flawlessly and do the skip. And it's pretty simple. Just make sure you have a good eye on which you have to have lit and unlit. And make sure a good tip is to learn the numbers so then you don't really have to look for the number and you can just move your mouse immediately to it. So then you can keep focus on the number and the unlit or lit.
Yeah, something that he didn't cover just now that actually really confused me when I first did the elevator puzzle is, say you get the sequence of numbers and say number 10 has the lit box next to it. Okay, you flick number 10. Say the sequence of number comes again and like say you still have the 10th switch flicked. If you see the sequence of numbers again and 10 has a lit box next to it again, don't unflick the switch for 10. Don't do that. I tried doing that and it totally messed me up. Don't unflick it.
Yeah. If you do miss one, it's going to show you your progress, and then it's going to redo it again. It's going to be the exact same order. It's just going to show you what you missed. It's going to show the exact same thing in randomized order, but it's going to be the exact same. So no need to like unflick everything. You don't need to do that. Just look at it and find your mistake.
Okay. Next, we're going to talk about items. There are many different items, including vitamins. You've got lighters, you've got lockpicks, and you've got something else. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Alright, let's talk about items. You've got 6 different items in the game. You've got vitamins, flashlights, batteries, lighters, lockpicks, and bandages. We're gonna go through the list backwards. Why? Because Showed is special. So, bandages upon use will heal you. When you find them in the drawer, press E and they'll heal you. Lockpicks are very nice for speedrunning and stuff. If you come across a lockpick in a drawer or buy them, and you come across a door with a lock, just use a lockpick on the door and it'll work just like a key, except you can pick what lock door you use it on. Very useful. I thought you were gonna say something. I was so pissed. Okay.
I was going to. You can have a maximum of 3 lock picks. That's the max. Vitamins, I believe the max is also 3.
Yes, it is.
But I don't remember.
Lighters. Lighters will always be found in this structure. I'll show that structure on screen. They can also be found in drawers. They're very nice because they can give you less chance of being attacked by Screech. However, they run out of power after a while. So when they run out of power, you gotta find a new lighter.
In those drawers, it's not only going to be lighters, but it can also be lockpicks, it can be flashlight, it can be vitamins, it can be any of those. It's random which, but the highest chance is a lighter.
Right. You can buy they're pretty rare to come across. The flashlights are pretty rare to come across in drawers and like, you know, that structure we talked about, but you can buy them in the shop. You'll find like these random batteries in drawers that helps you repower your flashlight. Flashlights work just like lighters, except they're brighter and Screech has less of a chance of attacking you. Like with a lighter, it's way more effective than a lighter. The batteries are just like the thing about flashlights and lighters is that lighters, they die out. Flashlights, they die out. You can, you know, power them back up with batteries. Vitamins are really useful if you're really bad at like Seek, like Should. Then with vitamins, you can use them and you'll just speed through Seek. They'll also give you a bit of a health boost just in case you're low. Say you got hit by the eyes, right? And you have half your health gone. You can pop a vitamin and you'll get extra health. Maybe that's not the best time to use it. Should will like clarify on good times to use it. And yeah, they're very good for speed too, like running away from Figure, maybe running away from Seek. Yeah. Should, can you give me other examples?
Vitamins best used if you miss the door and it's on the other side, you know that. But you got stuck or you accidentally went to the left when the door was on the right during the Seek sequence. You want to use the vitamin so then you can catch up and not be way behind near Seek. So then you have a less chance of dying. Good spots to use it also, dark rooms if you want to get through it fast because it's a long hallway and you're near the end since... near the end, actually...
Of the game. He's talking
Screech
about the game.
will attack way more often. At the beginning, they barely attack. So if you're at the end game and it's a long hallway and you don't have a lighter or a flashlight, maybe pop those vitamins, speed through it.
Alright, that's about it for items. Let's go and move on to lighter and flashlight usage.
So lighters and flashlights are both different. Lighters give you a small area around you, flashlights give you a big area ahead of you. That's your visibility during dark rooms. Now, lighters will drain completely once it's at the minimal. It can be, it'll just go away and you won't have it ever again unless you find a new lighter. Flashlights, on the other hand, can drain and you'll still have it because there's a chance you'll find batteries to power it up. So flashlights are the better counterpart of lighters. Now for both of them, they will make it less likely to get attacked by Screech in dark rooms. But the only thing is, in the early games, when you get a dark room, it's not necessary to use a lighter or a flashlight because Screech will rarely attack you. So if you're in the early time, in the early game, you're at just like room 15 or something, don't use your lighter or your flashlight. Just wait until you get to the end game and you're at like room 80, room 90, so then you don't have to actually waste any lighter, fluid, or flashlight battery.
Fluid.
You want to keep that because they attack way more often at the end. Did you just say women? At the end game.
Fluid. Why'd you say lighter fluid?
I heard women. Because that's it. It's just gas. Okay. Screech will attack way more often at the end, so when you're at like room 80, 90, and that's when you want to use your lighter and flashlight, so then you don't really have to deal with them. That's basically all we got for lighter usage, flashlight usage. Let's go to room estimations.
Yeah, very excellent explanation there. So this is nice and
now
quick.
I forgot, you have no clue what room estimations are, so I'm going to type that in chat.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like
okay, what am I talking about?
You're talking about when you're most likely to encounter Seek or ambush. Right?
Yeah. When you're most likely to encounter Seek or ambush, or when you're more likely to encounter Screech.
Should thinks I'm a bit of an idiot here. Most likely have a chance to encounter the first Seek at doors 30 to 40. You have the higher chance of encounter. Okay, bro, I messed up. Okay. You have the highest chance to encounter part 1 of Seek at doors 30 to 40. The highest chance to encounter part 2 of Seek at door 75 to door 85. Highest chance to encounter ambush at door 90 plus. You have a higher chance to get Screech after figure. Alright, let's move on to Seek and Figure's second encounter. It's a pretty nice transition there.
So, Seek and Figure both have 2 encounters. First of all, Seek, you're going to encounter him at room 30 to 40, as we just told you. And then you can encounter him again at 75 to 80. This is guaranteed, so don't expect to get really lucky and not encounter him. And the second version is always going to be harder, except for Figure for some reason. But for Seek, the second part of him is going to be way harder than the first one. We'll explain that afterwards. And for Figure, you're going to encounter him once at room 50. That's just going to be the library, and again at room 100. We're going to show that on the screen for a little bit, so then you can see all the times you encounter him and what door it is, and you'll understand it a bit more. Now we're going to move on to Seek's layout.
Now, Figure actually... What's interesting about Figure, just a fun fact here, is during part 2, it's expected to not see it, the part that's coming up, because Figure actually, when he disables your elevator at the end cutscene, he actually jumps away and jumps into another hidden room. So we don't know if we're going to see Figure in part 2 or not. But it's pretty interesting because Figure actually somehow teleported from room 50 to room 100. We have no idea how he got there. So you never know. You never know when we might see him, when we might not. Okay, so next we're going to talk about items. Sean, I have no clue what I'm doing, bro. Can you help me?
Okay, it's vitamins, flashlights, batteries, lighters, lockpicks, and bandages. We've been over this so many times.
Okay. Can you type it for me?
Already did, buddy. I got you back.
All right, let me open it here. Okay. So, you've got a... Bro. I can't wait. Shut up, I'm gonna do it.
Dude. Thumbs up.
Thank you guys for watching our doors guide. Here's a quick scene of Figure chasing me to the end.